Hello and welcome to this exhibition series, the precursor for next year's Nations Cup. This is round one from Lago Maggiore. As we see Chris in pole position, Pete Jam there in second, and there I am after my brilliant qualifying yesterday in third place. Very happy with that, just 600ths off the leader. Hello, Maggiore in fourth, Maggiore in fifth, and we have Draco Drift in sixth place, Race Demon in seventh, Frank Lefwine in eighth, and Laba Beramaruzi in ninth. Sorry if I'm getting some of these names wrong if you're watching. Johnny the Destroyer in 10th, that was an easier one. Designation G in 11th, Fabiano Tom in 12th, and Darkadelic in 13th. 14th we have Phoenix, and behind him in 15th we have Ernie Santos, and 16th place Javilton. As you can see, it's a one-make race using the Bianchetti Veyron. The Chris in 17th. 18th is Bionics. And 19th is Cap from the Britain as well. So there's 3 Brits in the UK, 2nd, 3rd and 19th. Looks like 20th place has dropped out. So here we go. Shortish straight down towards that first left-hander. Is it going to be clean? Are they going to be courteous? Are we going to get some problems? Let's have a look. Come on, good qualifying. Let's see if I can put that to good use in the race. So standing start, false starts will be penalised. So go. There we go. So looks like we've got a good start on first. Certainly, Pete Jam has moved up into first. I'm coming past first into second. So that's a great start. Hope we don't get knocked. Oh, as we do a little bit there, but fortunately didn't go off track. And unfortunately it meant Pete Jam did. I got knocked a little bit into him, but he's safe and secure now in second. But yes, up into first. Now I've started to sweat now. Can I hold it together, make sure no one rams me up the rear, and hopefully with some good lap times in practice and in qualifying, it's just a case of keeping it clean as always and trying to get some consistency to my laps, keeping the line right and the braking right. As Pete Jam, he's looking around the outside there. No, not quite, look like he was a bit, but you can't get around the outside through the S's. Better not into them anyway. No, so you can take a lot of curb on this circuit, a lot of curb in a lot of places. Obviously you can't go right the way across the white line, although even in a couple of points where we have done it, almost did. So it's very close between the top of us already as Pete Jam comes down the inside towards the hairpin. He comes down the inside, he's got the inside, he's even taken it, but I've just managed to hold on to the outside of his rear wheel, which gives me the inside for this next one. And yeah, oh, it's still close. Yes, I've kept it. He's having a little look at the inside, but didn't manage it that time. But that was some great racing. He took the inside line of that hairpin, but I managed to stick to his outside and keep the inside for the next one. Wow, good clean racing there from the 2 Brits in the top 2. And we've got Draco Drift moved up. Chris 69 has fallen back to 4th from his start. And here we are coming around the final corner to complete the first lap successfully and cleanly by everyone. There we go. So the requirements for this race was that we could only use hard tyres. There was no other option of any other tyre, racing hards. So in the free practice we did a lot of times and a lot of laps on the hards, and the front tyres do wear out quite quickly. So we had braking bias set to 5, which the fronts still wore out more than the rears, but it was the best setting for those to save those front tyres in this long race. We looked we're keeping the option open to pit for fresh tyres, but really that's going to depend on everybody else. If I can hold it together and no one else pits, and I'm not going to lose track position by pitting. If I have a problem or other people pit behind me and gives me some free air to pit into, then I will. But we're just going to be dependent on what I do and what others do. So on setting 5, I did manage to get 10 laps just in the lobby, practicing in the lobbies with the same settings as in the race, which was, I believe, 2 times fuel depletion and 7 times tyre wear, if I remember rightly. It could have been the other way around, but I think it was that. So here we go. We're already now still in first on this second lap. We've got, after that tiny little nudge in the rear, it just dropped Pete Jam back, but he's still there hanging on in there. Chris 69 has moved back up to third, and we're coming around the final few corners of the lap to see what kind of lap times we're getting following the start lap, which obviously was slower because we were all from a standing start. So far I'm just thinking, when am I going to make a mistake, when am I going to make a mistake, please don't make a mistake. But the car really was a pleasure to drive, like the Audi that I won in the Nations Cup in the last season. I won here in the shorter anti-clockwise circuit. I won here in the Audi TT. Maybe it's the circuit I like, but this car was really easy to drive around it. I really enjoyed driving this car. It was phenomenal. And so far, what I have found out about the numbers, I can tell you quickly on the numbers. Obviously we're all matched with the same rating. Now, I finished last season as a B-rated driver, and after a couple of daily races, I actually unfortunately dropped back down into the B. So, back down into the C rating. So I matched with C rating drivers. Now, when you're matched, you all get given a race number. Now, obviously within that C rating band, there is you've got points between 4,000 and 10,000, and what those numbers represent is within that band, within those rating points, the highest points person would get number 1, and the lowest points person within that C rated band would get 20. So according to that number, I am the 5th highest of the C rated drivers in this race. Obviously I qualified 3rd, which was great. Now here comes Pete Jam again on the inside into the hairpin. He's tried it before, he's tried it that time, but he made it stick that time. So into that hairpin on lap 3, he's got me. I'm trying the same trick again up the inside there, and I'm still there. I'm still neck and neck with him, but now he's got the inside for the next corner, which really I have to yield. So another good battle, another fair battle, but this time he got me. So we're going to switch to in camera. Now there's some actually in front to have a look at, and also it'll give us some times. You can see that Chris 69 is now dropped down to 5th, and Alom Jose is up into 3rd. He's 2 seconds behind me. So at the moment, the two of us have got a decent-ish lead, although that can change at any moment. But the question is, can I stick with this Pete Jam, who obviously I'm fairly evenly matched speed for speed. He got past me once, but can we do anything about that? Can we claw our way back to first? Well, it's a 10-lap race, as you'll see in the top left-hand corner. We're on lap 4. Pete Jam has actually got the fastest lap of the race, presumably on lap 2, I'm not sure, but he's got a 2:08.9 compared to my 2:09.6, and it's likely that the lap times will just get slower unless anyone does pit, as the tyres wear out at a rate of 7 times their normal wear. So here we go. So we're coming around the lesser of the 2 hairpins, 3 hairpins technically if you count turn 2, up to the S's. Take a lot of curb on here, brake slightly there at the beginning of those curbstones, and then go right, take a lot of curb, get right over those curbstones onto the orange sausages a little bit, leave it running out wide there, curbstones there and curbstones there. You see he was a little bit wide on that last apex. If you watch the timings in the top left, you can see I'm very slowly by the hundredths gaining on him, but not enough for this lap. But I did gain on him on the entry for that one, but he's now pulling away on the exit. So yeah, it's nip and tuck. We're gaining on him in some places, he pulls away in others, but we're roughly about half a second apart, which is allowing, and I suppose this little battle is allowing Maggiore to catch up slightly. He's now only 1.4 seconds behind, so there is no room for error, or I, him, anybody will be pounced on in this really good race, close race. Good close times, which means we're all close together and fairly evenly matched. I just missed my apex on that last hairpin. It's quite a tricky one, that, because it's a downhill. It's a fast left-hander downhill. There's not a lot of grip on those front tyres as you're coming into it, but I do get it right on occasion, and when I do, it's amazingly fast corner. Coming into, there we go, this is turn 2, the first hairpin. Accelerate away, use as much of this little escape road or other alternative track as you can. Don't go flat out through that turn that we're on 3, otherwise you'll be out of position for this turn 4, but then use all the curb on the exit down the hill. And again, it's like in the Audi, which you've watched, I think it was round 24 of the Nations Cup. You're braking here, you look as if you're going to go completely off the track, but it's a really late apex and you can get on the power early because you've already had the worst of the bend, and it just slows down, closes up, opens up rather, and then we're into the S's again, where you can really get over those curbs. Now we're going to gain on him this time again. We're dropped down to 8, 9 tenths down, but he's got on those curbs a bit better that time. And I'm looking at the gap time, so yeah, I've dropped down to now a second back. I've lost a little bit of time in that one hand. Third place now. Maggiore has caught up to that second, so there's 2 seconds covering the top 3, and it looks like anybody behind there is a little bit further back by those blue triangles. When you're really close together, you can't really see where those triangles are, but it looks like the top 3 is together, and there's someone else just a little bit further back behind, Draco Drift possibly. So let's see if we can work out on getting our top spot back. So we're coming up to complete halfway, lap 5. You can see already, even with the brake bias set to -5 to the rear, those front tyres are still wearing out lap after lap, and they've already got a lot of red on them, on the little markings on the tyre logo just to the left of that virtual cockpit. So as you can see, the lap times very consistent, although as you'd expect with the tyre wear, they are dropping off a little bit by a little bit, but despite that, you'd class that as being fairly constant. 209.6, 210.2, 210.2, 210.5. So we're happy with those. They're not the fastest round here. I mean, the top, I would say, professional drivers, if you like, the professional racing sim drivers, they're getting 203s. We're getting 203s when I looked on the ranking board, so you know, I'm never going to expect to hit those heights. Unfortunately, I'm not as young as probably most of those guys, and so we're enjoying it nonetheless, and I hope you guys are enjoying watching this too. Racing is racing after all, and as long as you're racing with, you're not racing against those 203s and have no chance whatsoever, which due to the matching scheme you're not really going to be. The matching scheme works fairly well, and you get some good races with some close action sometimes, like this one. We've still got about 2 seconds covering those top 3, although I've now moved up in that middle spot between them, and I'm now gaining again on Pete Jam. And ooh, we have a little look down the inside there, as under braking we really close that gap up. 3 tenths, 4 tenths now. So we've obviously found a sweet spot in the braking and able to get a lot closer to him under that braking section, going into that downhill hairpin. It's really fast again because it's banked, so you can use all the curbs on the inside, and you can take that at a fairly hefty rate due to the banking nature of this corner. Here we are now coming to complete lap 6. and there's still those same 2 seconds covering the top 3. Wow, this is good. No room for error whatsoever. And just praying and hoping that either he makes a mistake, but he's not looking like he is, and I'm praying and hoping that I don't make a mistake, and I'm really hoping I can get past him in this last half of the race. You know, my tyre setting on 5 is the best tyre setting I can have. Oh, I have to go very deep there and even run a little wide. No, but watching this slow section, it's a little bit forgiving because you've got a really tight corner coming up next time round, but I have lost some ground due to that mistake, and it's allowed Alom Josi. I really hope I'm saying that right. If you're watching, I apologise. He's now within a second of me, so I've dropped back in that little trio now. And as I was saying, but my tyres, yeah, setting 5 towards the rear is the best you can have for saving those front tyres, despite the fact that they're still wearing off faster than the rears. So his tyre wear will be no better than mine, but depending on his settings, they could be worse than mine. So, you know, fingers crossed. In this last few laps, you know, I'm praying that he hasn't checked his tyre brake bias setting, and maybe, just maybe, fingers crossed, there's something still in this. We have clawed half a second back on that time that I lost, 4/10 on that time that I lost in those first corners. And there you go, you see I was right over the sausage curbs on that turn. You can use an awful lot of the curbs here, and I've managed to claw a tiny bit back of what I lost at the beginning of this lap. This is lap 7. There are 3 more laps remaining after this one, and it looks like I may have to settle second place, as we're all so evenly matched. But I think it's going to possibly take a mistake or something. Moment of brilliance, possibly, from one of us. So the original pole sitter is back in 5th. I can't remember where the rest of them started, but that 208.9 on the second lap of Pete Jam's is going to be, unless someone pits behind us that we're not seeing and puts fresh tyres on, that's going to be the fastest lap of the race, as expected on this tyre wear. We're all going down. You see now I had a decent lap 6, 2:10 dead. That was half a second quicker than lap 5, but 2:11.2 for lap 7. We have gained on Pete Jam. We're now back to within those same 6/10 as we were, so 4/10, 3/10. So is this the lap? Is this the lap that do it? We've still got those same 2 seconds with this top 3 as well. Oh. Yeah, the tyre wear is definitely running out. Both missed that apex. You see the tyre wear on that little graphic there is really, look at the inside. All over the back of it is really way past. If I get a good exit through these S's, I might be able to get a good drag down to that hairpin and take him where he took me. Yes, again he's a little wide on that apex, he's running wide there. So this is it. 2/10 into what, 10th behind him, getting that slipstream pull out. Now, can I get the inside? Yes. Can I make it stick? Yes. Yes. I got him on the same part of the track he got me earlier. Wow. Come on. Come on. It's 2.5 laps to go. Come on, look at that. He wants that pace back. I don't blame him. Oh, it's so close. Obviously, now that I'm in front, you've noticed I've switched back to the exterior camera footage because there's nothing in front of me. You won't want to see an in-car shot here. The gap you don't need to worry about. It's visual. Oh my word, this is going to be well, it's been an awesome race for clean racing and close racing, and just so evenly matched that it could have gone either way, and I found a way past. That was such an amazing, that line through the S's just had me catch up, but it's been such here he comes again, looking at just having a little glance down the inside, but he wasn't close enough to take advantage of it as we threw the hairpin. Oh, I Anyway, just a little lift as you go that corner. Don't need a brake there, just needs a little lift to keep you in line for this corner. Take as much of the exit as you dare, and then down the hill. That's a place where anybody who had penalties would serve it. We haven't seen any penalties in this match at all, in this race at all, so it's been an awesome race from that point of view. There was a little bit of nudging on the first corner of the first lap, but you know, it wasn't that bad. There was no penalties, and it's always hectic in the first corner, so it's probably about as good as you're ever going to get. Certainly in GT Sport. Obviously in real life you wouldn't expect to even get that, but in GT Sport that's probably about as good a first corner as you're ever going to get. So come on, let's bring it home. Lap and a half to go. And although we're not seeing much footage back down to third place, I believe we've pulled a little bit away from him now. Don't think he's certainly within 2 seconds of me now, the current leader, although that shot there, no, we still didn't see him in the background there, so it looks like we've both pulled away a little bit there, so that's good. He may be 4 seconds back. So it's a great result for the Brits, as long as we can both bring it home in this about to be final lap. Who's going to win it? This is anybody's. Really, there's third place there. He has dropped off a bit. He's maybe 4 or 5 seconds back. But a great race for the Brits. Let's hope we can bring it home in a 1-2 in this Nations Cup. But who's going to cross the line first? We've got 1 lap to go. And there we go, 2:11.2, 2:11.2, 2:11.5. So the rate of drop off is fairly consistent. So it means we are probably getting about the best out of the tyres as we probably can for my level, my driving standard level, my skill level at this moment in time. But what we are doing is so evenly matched with Pete Jam that really, look at that, he's right on the tail again. Oh, I'm just glad there's been no mistakes. I mean, one mistake would have destroyed this race, because you know, even third place still just a few seconds back. Well, maybe he's dropped off even more now. He was not in sight at all in that picture, so he's dropped off some more. Maybe his tyre settings are worse than ours. But what a great race for the Brits! What a great race for me. Who's gonna triumph at the end of this lap? Can I keep the line right through the S's? Take those curves. Yes. The apex there. The apex there. And there. Go over the curbstones. But he's still right there with me. Look. There's less than a second in it. I've moved away. I moved into the middle of the track there to try not to break his slipstream, to break his toe. I pull out again for the racing line. Oh, and I'm even on the grass a bit there. Did I take too much of that one? Did I take too much of that one? No, it doesn't seem I did. No penalty. So even with me wheels on the grass a bit there on that apex, there was still no penalty, and he's there again, he's looking on the inside. No, he just yields. Oh, what a great driver, Pete Jam. You know, clean like myself. Glad we're having such a great battle, but it's anybody's, even into these last couple of corners. But I think where he yielded on that corner 2 corners ago, I think with that yield there, that was it. I knew then I'd won it. After that yield, he had to give me looking on the inside of that, well, top corner as far as the logo is concerned. And there I am, first win of the season, first race of the season. Get in! Now, unfortunately, just to spoil the end of that race, he must, in trying so hard to get past me, he must have just gone off the racing line somewhere in his efforts to get past me. But what a race. Well done, Pete Jam, for battling me all the way. I'm so glad none of us made a mistake, because that made for an epic race. Wow. That was a great feeling. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Make sure to like and subscribe to carry on watching the next ones.